So, dear brothers and sisters, again, you're very welcome to our Mass this evening. When we were babies, or if any of you have very young siblings, or when you ever see moms and babies, what's really interesting is that moms love their babies even though their babies cause them nothing but hassle. Babies cause nothing but noise and mess, and it's like they'll wait until you're asleep, and then they decide to dirty themselves and scream all about it. And it's your job to fix them. Then they wait until you're back asleep, and then start roaring again. It's like they deliberately try to torture you. And then when you have to go to work all day, they sleep. They sleep all day when you have to get up and work. And yet parents dote over their little children. They dote over their little boys, their little girls, and how cute they are. And yet the children do absolutely nothing to earn love. What do they do but cause hassle? And yet they're loved. Newborns can't even say, "Thank you for changing my nappy, that was greatly appreciated. It was becoming a little soggy," if I'm honest. You know, they're not the least bit grateful, right? Then eventually, you get the parents get all excited and they say, "Oh, look, she smiled. She smiled. All the hassle she caused you, and she repays you with a smile, and that's somehow sufficient." My goodness, right? Didn't take much really, you know. But why is that? Why is it that parents love their children so much, their babies so much, when babies can't repay that in any way? And not even can they not repay it, they're not even grateful for it. Why do parents love them? Why? One gentleman, give it a shot.
A gift from God.
The what?
A gift from God.
They're a gift from God. Well, yeah, they are. They are. Well said. Gentlemen? We have a hand, yes?
Because they had them.
Because they had them. So as such, you're my child.
Yeah.
And that's why I love you.
Yeah.
If another child over there screamed or dirtied itself, it wouldn't really bother me so much. It really wouldn't be cute. But if my child does it, it is. So it's because of that really profoundly ontological link. You're my son, you're my daughter. Exactly, basically. That's basically the answer. We're loved so much, not because of anything we do, but because of who we are. Our identity isn't found in our actions. Our identity is found in who we are. And who we are in that relationship is a son or a daughter. Okay. Similarly, conversely, when we start to grow up, there comes a point where you've probably gotten to that stage in your careers now as young people, where at home you're now expected to do things, to help. And it's hard, you have to bring your plate the whole way, from the dinner table to the kitchen. And sometimes you actually have to scrape it off. It's not easy, guys. It's not, you put your plate into the dishwasher, and it's tough. We all suffer in this way. But it's our way of contributing to family life, and then you spend hours in the gym, and at times you might actually have to use that to help someone and bring in the coal bucket. And it's difficult, guys. It is. Or bring in the shopping, Use all them biceps for something useful. It's difficult. It's difficult. But you can actually volunteer then to carry in the bags of potatoes, and as you're going in, just get 10 reps in. I'd say between the car and the kitchen, you get 10 reps, no bother. 15 if you're big as me. So point being, there comes a time in our lives where, as kids, you just receive all the love. You receive everything that's being given to you, and you give nothing back. Because you're not able, and because you're just growing, you're just learning. And then as we grow up, we're actually expected now to start giving back, start contributing. And then you take part in team sports where now it's not about you anymore. It's about the team. It's about the community, the school. You start to actually have to look out for other people, not just yourself. Then eventually, hopefully, help of God, you'll find someone very special in your life. And then it's really not about you anymore. And then it's all about them. Then with the help of God, you'll have kids. And then your needs are third place. your wife first, kids, then yourself. So as we mature, as we get older, our lives become less and less about us and more about others. And that's actually what makes us happy. We actually find fulfillment not just in doing what we want, but in doing what serves others. If I spend my life doing what I want, if I only study when I want, if I only eat when I want or what I want, if I only talk to people when I want, when I'm interested, what does that make me? Super free or super selfish? Maybe super lazy. But not a very fun friend to be around, not a very fun guy to be around, you know? If I only do exactly what I want when I want, I'll never achieve anything. That's why for any of you who play sports, you've got people called coaches to push you further than you want to go. And that's how you achieve greatness. By giving more than is comfortable. By giving more than is comfortable. In our gospel today, Jesus is watching how people are putting in donations into the equivalent of the collection box. And the rich, like, you know, they kind of take out their 20s, they kind of flash them, just kind of make sure people see. They just put it in slowly and then, oh yeah, it's definitely folded right. Just make sure people are seeing as the 20 is going in, that people can have a good long look at the fact that I put 20 quid in. And this other lady comes over and she just puts in the equivalent of a penny, so a couple of coppers. And Jesus says she put in more than all the rest because everyone else gave what they had extra, what they had left over. She gave everything she had. What's God asking? He's not necessarily asking us to increase how much we give in the collection at Mass, although that will be appreciated today. Joking. But he is asking something which we don't often think of. When we're kids, it's all about us. Everything serves us. Sometimes in our prayer life, it can be that way too. God, you're there to serve me. I have an exam that I haven't studied enough for. You take care of that because I'm, one of your, children or something. I got the sacraments or something, so you're supposed to help me. Or I really want Shaniqua to fall head over heels in love with me because she's the business. So God, you have to make that happen. Or maybe there are more serious things. Maybe there are people who are sick, and you want them to get better. You want them to get better. And so we say, Lord, I want this person to get better because that there might be a grandparent or something. And God, if they don't get better, you're not good. You're not good. So our prayer then becomes not so much a prayer, but a way of telling God what he should do. Now, as we grow up in our spiritual lives, as we grow up in our relationship with God, as we kind of mature in our relationship with God, same way as we do in our relationship with other people, it should become more and more about others and less about us. So our generosity, what we do with our time, what we do with our talents, should be more and more about helping others than helping ourselves. And similarly with God, we want God to be super generous with us. Am I generous with him? Am I generous with God? You'd say, well, he doesn't need anything. What does he want? I can put more money in the collection if that keeps him happy. No, that's not what we're talking about. God doesn't need our money. He doesn't need anything, any material thing. He needs nothing. He effectively owns it all anyway. So God doesn't need anything. So when we talk about generosity with God, what are we talking about? What does God want from you? Another non-rhetorical question. Let's give it a shot. What does God want from you? Yep. Love. How do we know that? I think it's just because you're generally awesome. You just knew that. Well, effectively, yeah, that's it. See, we can't give God anything that he doesn't have already, except our free will. So our in freedom that we choose to love him. Because love can't be forced, or it's not love. So that's the only thing he can't kind of force us to do or coerce us in any way, is to love him. That's our free response. So that's the only thing that we can give him that's truly ours. Our love. Now, I know for us guys, talking about loving God is always a bit kind of, a bit awkward. We get always awkward about that L word. Lice. For those of you who haven't seen Ice Age, the L word starts with L, L's and E, lice. Okay, love. We get awkward about the love word. So when it comes to loving God, what does that mean? It means having a real relationship with Him. It means having a real friendship with Him. It means letting Him in, knowing Him, and trying to do what He asks us to do. So on your days of retreat, let's try to be generous with God. Let's try to be generous with Him. Let's try to give Him, not just, tolerate the retreat or get through it, but to give back to Him so He can fulfill our every need and our every desire. Amen.